which is one of our pluggable microscope is one of our more popular products. And but it's more fun to kind of see it out in the wild than it is to see it just indoors. So what I've got is I've got a laptop that's running Windows that this microscope is actually connected to, and that's actually running here also live, that kind of on the split screen. And this line is just something for my peas to grow up here in the garden. And so, yeah, I can just take this microscope, like press it against my skin, and let's just see what we can zoom in on here. So the microscope has a focus bar, or focus ring, I should say. And so I'm trying to have it focus in, and you can see some of my arm hairs. Isn't that exciting? And actually, yeah, this kind of weird red glow because I'm kind of out in the bright sun, and so it's really coming down on me. So there, I actually kind of move my arm so you can see. So what you're seeing, you know, there with that thing pressed against my arm, that's the pluggable USB microscope, under $50. And what you see on the other side is what the microscope's actually seeing. So kind of cool. We'll try to take a look at a few things and see what we can see. So, like I said, I'm here in my garden, and I'll show you a bit more of it here in a second. But I'm not a green thumb. In fact, I kill everything. So, you know, one of the things that I always, or I've thought about is, gosh, you know, wouldn't it be great to be able to kind of monitor what's going on with the plants in a way that would catch issues, you know, catch things like, oh man, I'm overwatering them or I'm underwatering them, because, you know, one of those two things I'm bound to do. You know, and you know, have something actually maybe that's kind of monitoring the plants and monitoring you know, how they're doing. So conceivably, you could take something like this microscope and actually hook it up to some of these cool new AIs, like AWS has an AI that's an image-based AI that you can kind of just send images up there and check things out. Well, maybe at some point in a future office hour, when I have unlimited time to program, you know, we could take a look at something like that. But let's actually just try taking this microscope and looking at this pea plant. So these are actually sugar snap peas. So let's, and they're pretty young right now. They've only been here in the garden for a few weeks. So let's try to get a look at this. So I'm pressing the microscope kind of right down to it, and I'm trying to zoom out right now, looking for where I'm kind of getting some interesting texture. You know, I'm actually going to go right on top of this leaf here. So I'm basically pressing the microscope right up to the leaf, and okay, I think it's too bright out here. I'm not getting it. Okay, so, and I'm trying to hold it in midair, so I'm bouncing around a little bit. Okay, so zooming in. Zooming in. Okay, so I'm just going to press this right down on top of the leaf so that I have a stable focal length. And then back off. It's actually picking up the wood there. Okay, there we go. So what we got there is actually the structure of the leaf itself. And that's kind of cool. And so what we're looking at, and I'll hold it up here, is just one of these leaves on the pea plant, so that I can kind of check it out and you know, potentially be able to see fungus or see a problem with the plants a little bit earlier. So let's actually go ahead, you know, mobile studio here to some degree. A lot of things to carry. Let's go check out a few of the other plants, and then also a little bit of water. Okay, so what we're going to do is I've got these. Let's see, what is this one? So I think these are carrots right here. Those are carrots. So let's just take a look at the soil kind of around the carrots. You can see we can get in there. So this microscope is 250 times magnification if you count the digital. It's about, you know, it's variable focal length. So the optical is not nearly that much. It's, you know, kind of under 50, but with the, we've got a big monitor, and you can basically scale the pixels up and have it look good at about 250. So that's the soil, and then here's the plant. So let's see if we can hone in on that. Guess I gotta just stay still, and there's a little bit of bounce because I'm actually holding the microscope in midair. You can kind of get a real close look there at the leaves. So yeah, so kind of a nice way of you know, using a product. So the way I have this thing hooked up right now, it's actually hooked up to my laptop. So you can see it here, and that's what we're streaming from. Just hooked into the USB port on the laptop. So usually here in the office hours, we talk about kind of you know, more technical things. And you know, so this the pluggable USB microscope is a USB-A, you know, the kind of classic USB connector. But that's nice. I mean, I did have a scramble. I was going to actually connect this in to a tablet that was a USB-C tablet, and so I needed to scramble a little bit to get an adapter that connects to the USB-C port on the tablet, and then has a female USB-A port. And again, the pluggable product for that is a USB-C AF3. Real common product. A lot of USB-C laptops and phones actually come with that adapter. So for this kind of USB microscope that's USB-A only, you know, you're going to need one of those adapters. Well, let's try to look at something else while we can here. We'll see if we get something interesting. So what I've got here is I've actually just got a really almost a bowl of dirt, and I'm going to go in here and see if we have any creepy crawlies in here. So I'm trying to zoom. I'm trying to get it to a kind of a stable position. And there we go. So what I'm doing when there's that quiet there is I'm just kind of spinning the focus ring. And there I moved it a little bit. You know, trying to focus in on what's there. There's a little bit of lag here because of the streaming. Oh, what is that? So I'm trying to really hone in there. So I'm not even sure what this thing is in this water. We've got, I think those are seeds and not kind of like, you know, tadpoles or something like that. But you know, a lot of kids, you know, stuck at home right now and having to do science classes from home. You know, so one of the nice things about a USB microscope is relatively inexpensive. You can take it kind of out in the field, you know, like here I am in the yard, and you know, be able to kind of look at this microscopic world that we don't often see. And even things like, I'm going to show you. So like this pot. Whoop. Well, okay, so
come along as we explore the microscopic world with the entire family. Whether you're in a lab, a classroom, or in the comfort of your own home, let your imagination soar, especially when you think you've found a national treasure with Plugable's Digital USB Microscope. With an easy plug-and-play experience, place anything on the observation pad and see things you've never seen before. With 2.0 megapixels and up to 250 times magnification, you'll be able to explore the world invisible to the human eye. Then, snap a photo using the capacitive capture button on the top of the microscope, even with the lightest touch. Plugable's Digital Microscope is for students, collectors, and science enthusiasts with a passion for all things microscopic. Try it out and tell us all the cool things you can see. Works with any Windows, Mac, or Chromebook computer. Android and Linux require additional steps.
Okay, great. I got saved as I hit a button on my phone. We played the video. So yeah, so that actually gives you a better, kind of high-level perspective on what the product does, which is pretty cool. That it can be used for out here in the garden, which is a little bit of a uncontrolled environment to do a live stream from, or right in the house for a coin collection or a stamp collection. Actually, that's what I really should have done. I've got handed down from my grandfather. I've got this gigantic stamp collection that I have never even looked at, and that would actually be a wonderful thing to do a live stream of with the microscope. Well, there you go. That's the pluggable USB microscope. And now with the ability, we've got so many good tablets, and even here for live streaming, being able to do that on a mobile device is pretty easy to do. So kind of a pretty fun thing to go out in the wild. I didn't actually find any good bugs to show. What's showing right now is actually like the porcelain on a pot, and you can see the structure of that porcelain. So you can do things like that. That's the flower pot that I had the thing plugged in earlier. But perhaps even better is if I would have been able to find any creepy crawlies out here and get a zoom in on them, because they're pretty cool. So I hope it gave you some ideas. Pluggable USB microscope. Have a great Thursday, and we'll see you at the next office hours.